I know I have a couple people who used to work at Canopy, but I need to shop around. I'd be interested. Apparently, it's hard to find someone who will do a small amount of client stuff. Yeah, like one or two.
You guys will be starting in just a minute. We're going to connect the chat as always. If you're listening out there, then you can feel free to comment below the show and we'll put your comment on screen.
Tell us what we're doing wrong. Our advice that's stupid. Tell us what you do differently.
It'd be very interesting.
I want to hear.
Does that mean you guys are going to respond to comments?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there we go.
Absolutely.
It's free therapy for the people out there. It's not technically, but it is. I think overhearing has actually been some of the best therapy I've ever had.
It's actually more gratifying than therapy because instead of making you work for it, we're just going to give you the answer. Period. We'll just tell you what we think. It's kind of more gratifying. We'll just be like, we don't have to teach you skills. We'll just tell you really what we fucking think on this issue. And if you don't like us after, we don't care because we're not your therapist.
Straight like that.
I was going to give myself more credit because I was kind of like a little bit learning like on my own, you know? Like a little bit because you have to interpret it and apply it to your life. So you're not giving them the whole answer.
I'm not giving you the whole answer.
Or anyone. I mean,
yeah.
Right.
But I'm helping. I'll give the comments.
Give the masses an answer. Which one am I doing first?
The first one.
One second. Just logging into the YouTube.
Okay.
Take your time.
I can't get your guys. If you want to come back here and log in, your therapy rebranded. It did that like reset thing where
I will be the
that way I can get comments.
What?
Can I put up the dog?
My brother's texting me about wanting me to move to New York.
Yeah, why?
My dating adventures will be more fruitful, adventurous, and
painful.
My life is actually out there, and I actually already thought that, but yeah, Minnesota isn't lovely, guys. I said I need to move to New York. He said full agree. It's also because he just wants to be out there.
Why does he want you there? Are you guys tight like that?
We go in and out. We're pretty tight. We get on each other's nerves a lot. That's my dog. That's my nigga. Definitely want to be in New York with him.
That's nice.
Even if we throttle each other once or twice, which makes
exactly. It's still someone who ultimately has your back. So.
That's what I mean. No, he's a rider for sure.
Don't be so hard to reach. Just
oh, do you want to try it or should I look it up here?
Oh.
Are you? Oh my god, we just listened to the whole song? That was a first. That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
It's the end of the weekend.
Don't have it?
I still wanna
Okay. Sorry, we're trying to get logged in here. Okay, there we go.
All I want is to go.
It's okay, just me and the little gold retriever hanging out here.
Why you messing my
He's a furry guy. Do you like dogs?
They're okay.
Do you like cats?
I do.
All I need is just
Dogs, it really depends on the smell of the dog. Some people do not have clean dogs, and I don't enjoy that. You know that maybe they don't know. Maybe they don't know that their dog smells like shit. I really don't know. But
It's gonna go to you.
dogs smell like wet fucking ass and dog, bro. And
Yeah, go to your Gmail.
like now my hands smell like that. Like I don't really want that. Cats smell like sunshine.
Would you have a lizard?
I had lizards growing up. We had 2 bearded dragons.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what my kid just got.
Ew.
I know. No, believe me, I'm not. I mean, good for him. Glad he likes it, but it's like,
They grow.
did
fast.
not want it in my house.
They're really cute when they're little though.
like
He's got a spotted gecko too.
Oh wow, we had like boa pythons. Well, really, Adam did it with me.
Holy shit, really?
No, we had like all types of snakes and shit. Like we had like a
I would
pig
hate
nose something.
that.
I actually don't mind snakes. I kind of like snakes.
Oh, to live in a house with a fucking snake
They
in
don't
the
shit
like
on
it.
you. Snakes don't really shit on you. Like other things poop on you, and that really creeps me out. I don't like that.
I haven't actually been shit on by an animal. I mean, maybe like a fish or something that I caught.
You guys, I kind of have to.
Can I have to pee?
Yeah.
The banner fall down behind you or something? No, that's your base. Never mind. What's that? Log on.
There we go.
It's
like I knew it was like.
And I have to know,
You should be a stripper.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. How much money would it take to get you to go strip like an amateur night right
I
tonight?
don't think there's enough. Like, I don't think there's
Bullshit. $10,000?
a million.
A million? Come on.
No, I'm dead ass.
You're not that shy.
I'm that shy.
Are you really?
Yeah. To strip?
I know. You know what's
I don't
really
even wanna
crazy?
dance at the club.
All the strippers that I've
Can you
interviewed.
confirm this?
Oh, yep. She's
Yes,
asking.
confirm. Well, I sent another one now.
What's the number?
You fucked it up. Don't worry about it.
Fuck.
You didn't fuck it up. You didn't know.
Right, y'all fucked it up.
You're trash.
You're trash.
Okay. Am I good? Save the
Yeah.
pass key. Windows hello.
Okay, there's a new one.
I don't know. Yes.
Gotta know.
What?
You can do no thanks on the profile. So it's saying use a save. Okay.
What? It worked though. I'm confused. We have to
We're
verify.
talking shit, you guys.
did.
It didn't fucking work. Oh,
Okay.
here, it wants me to do it again.
Here, you should put it on this
Don't
screen.
do anything.
Oh. What's the number?
76.
Yes, I have it.
There we go.
There.
We got it. We're in.
Multiple times. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I literally did it, and that was the reason why. You're welcome.
Bitch, I had to reset it multiple times because you were clicking on the wrong shit.
But I only clicked it once.
Why are you clicking anything?
But I didn't know. Where are you?
Okay, so back to stripping then.
Oh, I'm dying.
Yo, the dog gotta go. We're also like not, what's it called, people?
What?
We're not lab people. What is that? What the fuck kind of dog is that?
That was a golden retriever.
We're not retrievers.
You're not retrievers?
You're not a retriever? What are you?
I maybe have a little bit of lab energy, but like, we're not like.
More like a
we've
dog
never
that-
owned-
We are not the same kind of dog.
No, but
I
no.
give side eyes. That's the kind of dog I am.
No, you are, but I'm saying we would never own that type of dog, either of us.
Oh, no. We wouldn't
what I'm
own that
Are you
dog.
saying that that's not a black dog?
It's just not like a cool. They're kind of mean, actually. And
No,
they
they're
stink
not.
all the time.
No, they're not.
I don't.
you not find
None
a
of that
dog
has anything to do
tiring?
with it. They have way too much energy. I'm not doing that much energy. I'm so sorry. I'm not. I'm definitely not doing that much
Yeah, no.
energy.
That's why I need like a retired, like one of those like wiry dogs or whatever, because they're like couch potatoes, but they're like kind of awkward.
You'd like beagles actually, or hounds.
No,
they
because I don't
drool
like
too
the.
much. And the drooling.
Oh, beagles don't drool. They're little, like whatever. That's the bigger
Biggie.
hounds.
Anyways, to be honest, I have a mutt and I like mutts. So
And she's really fucking cute.
Well, never mind.
what's wrong with the mutts? I am a mutt. You're right.
No, of course.
But
Are you about to
And by the way, like I used to say, like we used to call people mutts without it had nothing to do with race. It was like you're a mutt, like a crappy dog kind of
I
thing.
used to say the worst things about people, but it had nothing to do with like.
Well,
their background or anything.
listen. When I said it in 6th grade, it wasn't because of that. Like that was not even on the.
What was the reason?
Because
Poverty.
I'm from, like,
Why aren't you
I'm
listening?
I'm from like farm area.
No, it
Like I'm
wasn't.
from farm areas. So like
Yeah.
people. Okay. Anyway.
I actually don't get what farms have to do with being a mutt.
It's a whole different vernacular, is what I'll say. Like they say like rudder, like for.
she doesn't actually think it's about race. What is being a mutt about? That's what we're asking you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh
What is
no
being a
no!
mutt?
Because then I said it in college at a bar. Like I was just in a fucking like giving someone shit
Oh, he's
who
projecting.
happened to be
Okay.
yeah.
Because I was like, we actually genuinely know that farm culture is different, so we were asking, what
Oh.
does mutt mean?
Like,
Yeah.
literally.
Well, no, it just means mutt dog, like a dog that's
But why
not
is a mutt
purebred.
being a bad? Is it like they're like
It's not
homely?
bad, but when I said it to the lady in the bar,
not
she thought I was
purebred.
saying it as a racial thing, like mixed race, like a dog.
But when you were in 6th grade, were you saying it like mutts are worse than purebreds?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was trying to understand.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, 100%.
Oh,
yeah.
that's what I was trying to understand is are mutts worse than purebreds? Okay.
Well, they don't cost nothing. Purebreds cost money, right?
Yeah.
Well, actually,
breeder
purebreds are
dog does.
inbred, not purebred. They're
That's true.
inbred.
Yeah, but they're purebred.
Their mommies and daddies are cousins.
That's because we're so attractive that we have sex with each other. We're purebreds.
in theory, but they also
But they have tons of
genetics then.
genetic problems. But that's okay because that's a flex that you can take care of your dog's bad hips, right? That's part of it.
And it's very edgy to say your dog is incest
They have-
or is into incest.
It's like having
little
the black
incest
license
puppy.
plate. Minnesota now has this like black license plate. You can pay more for it. It's like there's no value to it other than flexing.
I kinda,
Wow, really?
I can waste money on this black license plate,
I'm not
baby.
gonna lie, it looks kind of sick.
I've never heard that. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's new within
You
like the
haven't
last
seen it?
year.
You've seen it driving.
No.
Yes, you have. You just haven't been paying.
You haven't been paying attention. You probably
Oh, yeah.
were like, oh, they changed the whiskey plates.
A
Me to me.
dignitary's
It's
car.
expensive. It's like $40.
What? Isn't that what a regular license plate is?
Like extra. Like they add on
Okay.
like a fee. I think your license plate fee is dependent on the car you drive, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that they add a fee.
Is this plate going to get me laid, would you say?
Maybe with black.
It would help, but don't get the plate on the car you have now.
No.
Gabe came to us like 6+ months ago and was like, I got this car. I'm going to burn through this in a second. And now in my head, I was like, you're going to have this car for a couple of years.
I
Not
love it
because you
now.
can't afford a different car, just because it's so inconvenient to go through all of that
Oh,
work.
that 100%.
Yeah.
But I legit 100%.
Yeah,
That
it's
is
going
the
to be
main
too
thing.
much work to go get another car, and it's not bad enough that you have
Exactly.
to get another one. So
Oh.
you're not going to do that, but that's cute. You
I
thought it.
seriously love that car now, and now I want the newer version of it, basically.
Yeah.
But
There,
that's
you
way
tried
too
it out.
expensive. Oh God, yeah! Without knowing I was trying it out.
Yeah, yeah.
What car do you have?
It's a Toyota Sequoia.
Good car. Toyota's
What?
a good car. Toyota's a good car.
Yeah, they are. They are. I didn't know you're a big motorhead.
That's what we always had. I would go back to if I could get like a Land Cruiser. If they sold the big '90s Land Cruiser, I would get that. But they don't even sell them like
That's what mine is the body of, basically. Like that's
so
that's
great.
basically what those are.
great car. Okay, should we get into this?
Let's get into these.
Okay.
I could talk motors with you all night.
Pause. Did I just say, can we get into this? Just like rolled off my tongue.
Yeah.
That was like super cute. Okay.
You're a smooth bitch.
What is the first one again? Just like for the order.
My husband needs to touch my breast to fall asleep.
Yes.
I'm exhausted and need a divorce. Am I the asshole? Possibly. Who knows?
There's
Yeah. Do we want to predict ahead of time? Is there any way that she's not the asshole?
that she's
Or,
not.
I'm sorry.
not be the
I'm sorry that she is the asshole. I say yes.
I mean, she could be, but like probably not.
The breast specifically is so weird.
How many touches like per night? Like what would be excessive to you guys in this
I like a
context?
guy who sleeps with his hand up my shirt, so I'm not gonna.
It's not. It's actually not the touching. It's actually has nothing to do with the touching the breast. It's my husband needs it to fall
Yeah.
asleep. Sounds manipulative as shit.
Yeah.
It's actually not the touching
You don't
of
think
your
he
body.
medically needs it?
Oh, yeah, that's gross.
Like-
it's like ownershipy.
Men love to like feel things while you're sleeping and like not in like a gropey way, but just be like, oh, affectionate and whatever, and that's fine.
I'm fascinated
Needs?
to know
getting
Needs
strong.
is weird and controlling. I can feel it in my stomach.
if that became a thing like that, right? Like that would be fucking crazy. Like if
This
she's
is-
fighting back and going like, no, I don't want to.
Okay,
It's like
wait,
I
I'm
need
scrolling
to.
through comments. I have to
Wait,
read.
don't do that. Stop doing that. And
not,
also,
I'm not.
it's also a negotiation too of you have to go to bed when I go to bed, which is controlling and weird. Because if you need me to fall asleep, that means that I need to be there when you go to sleep, or that's a
my God, I think
problem.
I'm-
Hold on.
That was me in my last
You
relationship.
guys think that's weird or not right? Because
Yes.
oh my god,
Yes.
that's how I.
I'm definitely. I was like, why aren't we?
No, I
That
don't-
was a thing that I used to never understand. Like, why do you need me to?
So my boyfriend and I, we do go to bed at the same time. I would say like 5 nights a week, but it's not like if I'm sleeping somewhere else or if I'm going to be home late that like
He's
waiting up or guilting me in that way.
Yeah.
Like if you didn't fall asleep because you're being fucking nosy, that's on you. Don't come home and be like, you ruined my night. I couldn't
Yeah.
go to bed till 11 in the morning.
No, that's wild.
Like if you want to be fucking nosy, that's on you.
If you wanted to stay up while he went to bed, like, would that be an issue?
No.
Like, if he said, no, I want to watch this show, I'm going to stay up.
No, actually, like he's the one who like it's weird because what he usually wants is like we'll be hanging out still, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to bed. He's like, no, let's watch one more of this thing or do this thing, but it's not about falling asleep. Like I'll be like, no, I'm going to bed. I'll be like, all right, fine.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know, like, and I think for him, like, he's more of a like, oh, go to bed go to bed together is like meaningful, but I think even he's like, it's unrealistic to think you're going to do it every night.
Yeah.
It is, but I think it is true that it is slightly meaningful. Like it is, like when I want to go to bed with a person, like.
You're such a woman.
No, I
it's
didn't know you were
like
on that
you
side
like
of the
the
argument.
person.
I'm literally
it's like
shocked.
I like. Huh?
I'm literally shocked that you're on that side of the argument.
Well,
Arguing
except
you down about this.
Except
This is
I
hilarious.
fought like constantly to be the one staying. Like basically, I took the other side in my marriage because I hated the controlling feeling of it. Basically,
Yeah, I think so for me personally, and this is a personal problem. This isn't a him problem. This isn't a relationship problem. I feel this with every romantic relationship with men I'm in, and I know exactly why I feel like this actually has nothing to do with men. But I have this like when he tells me like. Not even tells me, when he asks me to do something or he bitches about something that I'm not doing, like my immediate internal reaction is agitation, even if it's for like half a second.
yeah.
So even if it's something cute, like, oh, come to bed with me, like my immediate internal is agitation.
You got to dial it down.
Like my immediate internal is agitation. And then I like it washes away, like, because I'm conscious of it and I'm like, whatever, but like any kind of. I used to have a really bad issue of like assigning manipulation, maybe when it wasn't always there, or maybe it wasn't, or I shouldn't say that. Manipulation was there, not in this relationship, but manipulation was there, but it wasn't always like intentional. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Of being like, no, do this thing, or blah, blah, blah. In my head, I would be like agitated, like, oh, you're trying to push me to do something I don't feel like doing. I'm feeling suffocated. I'm feeling all of that, and all of that's about like. My own internal feelings about women who like abandon their identities to be with men. That's literally nothing to do with the men. It's not a crazy ask or anything, but I just have that internal feeling.
Do you guys have the same? So I have a friend you guys don't know, whatever, but he will tell me stories about this woman he's dating and having sex with, and because it's like nude, whatever, long story.
Yeah.
But basically, he'll tell part of the story where like he'll be like, oh, and then we got to, and then we just laid there naked together, and she's like playing in his chest hair and shit. That like makes my body like just get the fuck away from me. Do not touch me. Like there's something about that is like repulsive to me because you think of like the post-sex wet skin and the like your vagina on your leg, and just like it's just gross to me for some reason. It's just gross. Like I'll be like, stop telling me these stories. I don't even want to hear this shit. It's
actually more revolting that he's telling you this story like it's endearing.
Literally,
I'm disgusted.
Hey, I do not disagree. Except we do share with each other like the dark, gross stories sometimes because it's funny.
Well, let's see.
No, it's not about the dark, gross stuff. It's about that he thinks it was cute.
Well, okay, no, I think you're taking that in a way. It's more like he knows that I don't like that shit, and then he'll tell me how it is because it's like.
Oh, so he's being funny.
Or I will ask him like what you guys do. Like, is she the type of chick? Because like another one I hate is the woman gets out of the goddamn super hot shower and her tits are sagging, her hair's all wet. And then, you know, you get those like post-shower tits where they're like, no one looks good getting out of the shower. Nobody.
Okay.
And they attack you to have sex. I hate that. So I'll ask other people like,
so
did she ever do
if
that?
someone comes over with wet hair and wet skin and wants to get on top of you, you're disgusted?
I mean, depends on how hot she is, of course. But if it's someone who I
actually
used to
agree
having
with that.
sex
I don't want to have wet on the counter covers sex, and I also want to just like decompress after we have sex. I also don't want to do that. But I do remember being in my early 20s and just like loving like the euphoric feeling after you have good sex and being very touchy.
And I like that too. I'm saying I can do some of that. He's saying it's like the woman joked with him, which this was a nightmare to me, that she's clingy.
Oh no.
And I was just like, and that's these stories. These are like doing that for an hour after. Like not just in the immediate aftermath. I'm good with that.
Oh.
That's normal. I'm saying like, let's lay naked for 2 hours watching TV.
No.
While she's doing that. Gross. You're gonna get all chapped.
For me personally, I want a snack and a t-shirt if we're staying up for 2 hours after that.
Yeah,
yep.
But that's just me. Because then it's like all the tension's released and you guys can just laugh together. I love to put on something funny or stupid and just like talk through it and talk shit about it and like have a good time. Because
yes.
like, all of that like pent up like tension is gone.
Yes.
And you're just like existing in a very happy mood. It's a fun little part of it.
Ideally.
But the idea of doing anything where she can see my limp dick for like
Yeah.
like just observe my limp dick for 2 hours while I was laying on my leg.
Oh, when you
all
put it
stuck
like
to
that,
it.
I didn't even imagine that he didn't have underwear
It's
on.
disgusting.
Yeah, I'm grossed out actually.
Me too.
I'm actually, that's a little too intimate to me. Rachel probably loves it.
It's
No, this is
grotesque.
grossing me out. I was
It's
like grossed out
grotesque.
20 minutes ago.
You're like going like this, like you have a beard. Where's your beard?
It's like,
Why are
get
you rubbing
the
your
fuck
face?
away from me
I'm
for
like,
a minute.
I'm like, don't.
Like, how about we separate? We take showers.
I don't know what we're talking
I don't need to. I'm not gonna shower.
Don't follow me into the shower.
I'm not gonna shower.
I don't want to go to round 2 in the shower, which is the most overrated sex on the planet, I think.
Shower sex is horrible. But anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Okay.
Shower is
Sorry, I got so emotional.
shower is foreplay.
Yeah, you just went off. You just crashed out.
I've been doing a lot of that today.
13 minutes in. Go.
My husband needs to touch my breast to fall asleep. I'm exhausted and need a divorce. Am I the asshole?
Ida.
Ida. It's kind of a nice name. Throw away.
You came up with that. Your ADHD. Yeah.
Ida, literally. Ida.
Ida.
No, I can't hear it. Throw away because my main has some personal info. Okay. And pretty much what the title says. My 26-year-old female husband.
26-year-old female, husband, 30-year-old male.
Have been together. Those always fucking fuck me up. Have been
Start
together.
over so I can clip it easily. Sorry for the live.
No, it's okay.
Throw away. Oh, just do the start there. Throw away.
Throw away because my main has some personal info. And pretty much what the title says. 26-year-old female, and my husband, 30-year-old male. Yo, I'll never get it right. Have been together for 5 years, and he needs my breast/boobs/whatever to fall asleep.
Also, you know how conservative that she is, that she doesn't know what to write for
Breast,
boobies,
boobs,
breasties,
whatever.
Boobies, bodies.
Breast
Whatever.
boobs. That's
Tits.
fucking hilarious. Yeah.
Every single day he goes to bed at around 10:30, 11 something, and calls me over when I'm
10:30
not
so
even
early,
feeling
grow up.
sleepy, just so that he can touch my breast for his own sleep. That's disgusting.
Boobs is such a dumb
Give me
word.
them boobies,
Ew,
bitch.
like,
Boobs.
babe, come here. I just have to fondle you for a
Can
second.
I suck your boob?
Ew. From the very beginning of our relationship, he's had this habit. At first, I thought it was cute and kind of endearing sometimes, and I didn't mind it. But ever since we've married, it has become suffocating. It gets worse with how no matter what position I try to sleep in, he always reaches for me. Ew. If I turn away, he'll spoon me, and I'll still find a way.
Fuck.
If I push his hand away or I say I'm not in the mood to be touched, he either whines like I'm depriving him of something essential or gets genuinely upset. He claims it helps him relax and fall asleep, but I feel like I'm just an emotional support object at this point.
You absolutely are. That's what they use those objects for. Also, do you guys think when he's grabbing boobies, touching nipple?
Yes.
Hold on, like
He's
finger
doing
on the
like
nipple, or are you saying like under t-shirt over bra?
I'm saying he's touching breast under the t-shirt, bare skin with his hand because he's clearly that bold, right? Because
Yeah.
she's saying he's getting in there. When he's touching and grabbing titty, is he grabbing a nipple?
Yes.
When you say grabbing, do you mean like with 2 fingers grabbing the nipple?
No, I mean
I don't
putting
wanna-
his fingers
that's
on the
so
nipple.
disgusting.
Why? I'm not understanding
I don't know why you're
the
confused.
relevance.
Just talk to me.
You don't understand the relevance?
I mean,
It's
I know
a
it's
completely
more
different
sensitive.
physical sensation. Yeah, one of them feels like you're trying to initiate sex.
And so I do understand that it's more sensitive and everything. I'm
Yeah,
just saying I
objectively
didn't
you
know that
don't,
just
though.
like if you lay it over, if you're
No, that's why I said
sleeping.
I'm not saying he's like,
Is he going for the nipple?
is he going and touching,
Purposely.
you know, purposely touching and no. So not only are you falling asleep, but I can't fall asleep.
Okay.
Sorry.
Hold on.
He claims it helps him relax and fall asleep, but I feel
This
like
has
I'm
been
just an
wearing-
emotional support object at this point.
This has been wearing on me for years, but lately.
Nope.
And if I
That's why I try to tell you where it was.
I'm sorry, I went down.
I've tried compromising.
I've tried compromising and suggesting that he hold my hand, cuddle a pillow, or even just rest his hand on my stomach instead. Nope, it has to be my breasts, or he just can't sleep. I just have questions about, like, do they not talk about past dating history? Like, I don't get, like, when people get on here, like, miffed about their relationships.
There's no way he said, just so you know, every girlfriend before me has let me hold her titty to sleep. There's no way he said
might
that.
have. There
Stop it, Rach.
Why
Go.
not? I feel like he could have.
Because the only reason she
They
accepted this is because
normalized
she
it
thought
for
this
me.
was special.
It's been normalized. I
Really,
can't
like
go
going
back.
to like 26-year-old. She's been with him for 5 years. She's 26. She's 21.
Oh, yeah, I
There's no
forgot.
way at
No,
21
that's
a 21-year-old cannot handle the conversation
fair, that's
of
fair,
I
that's
held
fair.
someone else's titty while I fell asleep. No.
That's fair. I've tried compromising, suggesting that he hold my hand. Oh, we did this. And if I try to set boundaries, he makes me feel guilty, saying things like, "So now you don't love me anymore," or "This is just a normal thing between partners." Ooh, he's abusive. Ew. This has been wearing on me for years, but lately I just dread going to bed. I feel like my body isn't even mine in my own home. Ooh, those are the key words, honey. The main reasons this makes me so mad is because this is the only form of affection I get from him.
No, that's not okay.
Yeah, that's not okay.
That's
No,
not makes it actually 10,000 times worse. And the reason why it's 10,000 times worse is because he's withholding.
He's dolloping it out.
Yeah, he's withholding and only engaging in an affection that he wants. I don't like that.
And he knows that there's a part of you that is yearning for it, wanting that, and he's like, and so even if it's like
well, because if you were getting other kinds of affection, you might feel brave enough to
Right.
tell him not to do this and stand on it instead
Right.
of caving.
Right. The main reason this makes me so mad is because this is the only form of affection I get from him. Forget cuddles or random kisses. He doesn't even give me a hug. A hug. The last time I got one was on my birthday, and that was a year ago. He only needs my boobs. I finally snapped last week.
Do they
after
have
a long
sex?
day.
I wonder.
Are her tits like incredible?
No,
No.
this is a weird.
I know it's a completely piece of shit.
I finally snapped last week after a long day when he reached for me again. I told him I can't live like this anymore. He got angry and accused me of being dramatic and said I was threatening our marriage over something so small. Oh, he's been chipping away for years.
Wow.
But to me, it's not.
What does
small.
chipping away from years mean?
It means like he's been like going at her. He's been being belittling. He's been being maybe manipulative in certain ways. Or
He's been
putting down
using
certain
tactics to
things.
make her accept worse and less
Yeah.
slowly over time.
Yeah.
Like maybe when they first got together, she had a certain level of standards, and he's been lowering the standards slowly for 5 years.
Yeah, exactly. I finally snapped last week when he reached for me again. I told him I can't live like. To me, it's not small. It's a constant daily violation of my comfort. There you go. What makes this even worse for me is the fact that my husband does nothing to help me at home. Of course, he goes to work at 8 and I go at 5. He comes back by 5 p.m. and I come back by 7. From 7 p.m. to 12, I have to make up for all the chores at home, cooking, cleaning, laundry, etc., while he plays some games in his room. On weekends, he doesn't even help me. He refuses to do anything, so naturally, I have to make up for being the bigger person. And when it's time for him to fall asleep, he calls me over just to touch my breasts,
Christ.
while I have to wait it out until he sleeps, so I can go back to housework. He doesn't lift a finger. I know this sounds stupid and ridiculous. No, it does not. I probably sound like a whiny child venting. Oh, but I can't anymore. I called my sister, who I'm closest to, and I told her everything. She said that I'm weird for divorcing over something like this. Oh.
But they don't have a great marriage aside from this.
Yeah. I called my best friend of a decade, and she said that she understands me, but divorce is just overblown. I'm going crazy. I don't even know if I'm being so ridiculous at this point. I don't even know how to bring this up to my mom, mother-in-law, or anyone at all. I feel like an asshole for considering divorce over something like this. Am I the asshole? Will people even take me seriously? You came to the right place.
Well,
We take you seriously.
Zoom out, right? He doesn't just use you for his support object, which that is the part about it that's the worst, I think. That and that he wants you to drop what you're doing and tend to his sleep needs. I guess that it makes you an object. That part. He doesn't help you at home. It doesn't sound like you guys are very connected. It doesn't sound like you like him very much. It doesn't sound like he likes you very much.
And you're not actually physically connected. You said the last time you got like an actual, he hugged you on your birthday a year ago.
Can you imagine waiting a year for a hug?
No. That's really sad. I feel lonely for her.
And it's going to be even more lonely when she leaves him and everyone acts like she's
The
crazy.
asshole.
Yeah.
She's like, am I the asshole? Well, in your family, you're the asshole. And there you are.
You guys don't see this like a little bit like some of her language in there, like and here I am punished for being the bigger person. Like it just, to me, it's like, man, you've been sitting in this relationship forever. You love the bullshit that comes with it. Like, I don't know. That's how it feels.
I think even if she's in victim mentality, the evidence that she's citing is valid.
Oh, for sure.
And you're
For
also
sure
not
it is.
divorcing him over just like some boob, like over just like she's boiling it down to just the boob stuff, but you're divorcing him because of like a litany of other things.
It actually feels like she's emphasizing the wrong things and making stupid points because she doesn't understand what's the core issue.
Yeah.
Like she's like emphasizing like cleaning more or like the bedtime that she has or what her family said. And like she's not because she can't like zoom out and be like, yes, all these details are upsetting, but the details are leading to the fact that I'm not considered or important in my marriage and I'm 26 and I'm unhappy. And do I want to do this forever? Like that's the zoom out. But she feels too immature to do that. So she's like zoomed
deal with
in. And because she's zoomed in on every individual detail, that's why she's questioning her sanity.
It keeps you stuck in the
Because she
muck.
keeps being like, oh, well, it's just this one little thing. It's just this one little thing. It's just this one little thing. And it's not. It's a theme. The theme is that you're less important and you're unhappy.
What happens when you have kids with this guy?
Oof.
And he's sharing time with the boobs.
He's probably going to be like, bottle feed. I don't want them titties getting different.
He's bad. He's like a TV show. I get like TV show creep from him.
He also gives I hate you back, and the only thing I enjoy is this nighttime cuddle, so you better give it to me.
Yeah.
Which is like terrible dynamic and situation.
She just seems, I'm curious about her family dynamic. It sounds like nobody around her is supportive.
Yeah.
Why do you think he wants to cuddle? Like his real reason?
I think
Probably like goes to sleep thinking about masturbating or some like nasty shit. Like,
that's what you think?
I don't know.
Why would we think about masturbating when we could just masturbate?
I think he's.
I feel like he's a control freak.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel that too.
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
feel like
wondering
he's
what's motivating that. Like,
Well-
why do people want to control so much? Because they have lives of chaos when they're kids.
That or because they're in constant fear that they won't be able to handle the outcome of the unknown.
And that they'll be like truly known. I feel like people like that are always like playing like.
But so like
see me.
the boob thing creates a lot of control, right? Because if I'm touching you the entire time that you're asleep, I know you're here and you can't really do anything with or without me. You have to go to bed when I want you to go to bed. I know when you're not around me because I'm moving to find you and
Where
I'm
are you
sleeping and I'm just touching the part of your body that A, I like the most probably, and B is kind of a power move.
Yep.
So
You ever see like in like that movie Enough with like Jennifer Lopez or like those other like abusive movies, and it's like they're always trying to like sneak out from under like the guy's arm because he's never sleeping with his back to them.
no,
never, like,
you're
holding
so
them.
right.
They're always like doing shit like that.
No, you're so right. You're
You know-
so
okay,
right.
That I used to get out of bed. My ex he used to wake up. Where are you going?
Yeah,
Just like little shit. Like,
I've dated a lot of people like that.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Just like light sleepers. But I'm like, why are you like
Why are you worried about where I'm going?
in our like we live together? You psycho.
No, totally.
Crazy shit.
I also think that's like the not I wasn't gonna say Caribbean, but I just feel like there's like it's not Caribbean. There's a certain level of just like ownership and entitlement when you're in a relationship with someone that you have to negotiate. And I have a really hard time because I'm very independent. I'm very anti be accountable to you. But there's like certain levels of accountability when you're in a couple that you have to negotiate. Like if you leave the house, do you have to tell them? And do you have to tell them where you're going? If you're not going to be home at a certain time, is that a norm in your relationship to tell them? Is there a time you're expected home in your relationship? What is the time you're expected home in your relationship?
All types of like, and we all have like these made up rules that we come in with, and then like
Yeah. And right? So I know tons of women who have like made up rules around, we hear this from our friends all the time. Oh, he goes out XYZ nights a week. That means that he's
Right.
a bad guy. Or how much you drink a week, or
He doesn't tell you where he's going.
yeah, or he doesn't tell you, or do you have your location shared?
Oh my god, yeah.
Which I never do with men I date. Do you have your location shared? Or because I'm setting myself up to have a fight. Because
Yep.
if I go to the hardware store and you ask me why I'm at the hardware store, I'm gonna be so angry.
I'm gonna be pissed.
So because there's
you're
no.
checking up on me.
It's not even that. Why? I don't need to tell you. You don't need
Yeah.
to know in this moment immediately. You can ask me later when we're chit chatting. Like,
Yep.
I'm not. You know what I mean? I'm not like I'm not on call. That's what I say to myself about a lot of things. I'm like, I'm not on
Yep.
call. Like, I don't have to watch
People
my
feel
pager
like-
to see when you reached out to me to make sure I get back in time because something's going to go wrong if I don't. I don't have children and I'm not going to act like it.
People feel like because you have a cell phone that they're like entitled to your time, or like, well, I know you have your phone near you. I'm like, but it's still my time. I don't have to respond.
Yeah, I have a little box near me that I use when I feel like it. And I saw that you texted me, but I don't want to engage in a conversation right now. I don't have to.
Even for days.
Yeah. No, not in a relationship. And
Not in
that's
a
the little
relationship,
things.
not in a relationship.
No, those are little things, though, you have to kind of negotiate. Like,
Yep.
what's the norm in your relationship and what does that look like and how does that work? And it's exhausting.
I do think that in general, more men lean towards I get to like just abide by my own personal rules to do XYZ.
Yeah.
And they just make up arbitrary rules. And I feel like women just kind of go along with these arbitrary rules. And so,
I feel like men have a vision of what rules men have in their relationships, and women have a vision of what rules women have in their relationships, and they follow the rules. And they get really mad at the other person when they're not like acknowledging it or seeing them, and they never talk about it. Like there's never a conversation where a woman's like, you should be home by 10 p.m. on weeknights. But I bet fucking damn if it's 10:01 and you're not home, you're getting a call. Like there's made up rules.
you're in trouble.
There's not like men aren't saying, you know, you
Hell
can't.
yes.
You know what I mean?
Hell yes.
Men
This
aren't-
is huge.
Men aren't saying, you know, like if you're going to the club and you're out past club close, I'm questioning. But you better believe they're going to wait and see what time you get home. And if it's past club close, you better have a great story.
Is
Why
that
would
would
you
that be a
club it up?
problem to not like to be able to state that and say like, of course I'm going to have
No,
problems
there
if-
isn't a problem. I think the
Yeah.
problem is when you don't talk about it and now you guys are fighting about unspoken rules.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
Oh
being,
yeah,
and
that
then
shit's horrible.
and then each person, instead of being mature and talking about the rule, goes, well, a normal person knows the rule. That's my worst thing. I don't have to explain myself because I'm right. That's the right rules. That's the normal rules.
I shouldn't have to teach you how to.
I don't have to teach you how to love me.
Do we tell her that part of what she should be doing is just like is like denying him access to her body and like letting him melt down, or does that feel like it's dangerous?
It's not dangerous.
Okay.
I think what she has to do is, first of all, I want to, this is a PSA to all women. Stop having such a high standard for your home. If you're with a man who doesn't take care of your home, let that shit fall apart. Why are we cleaning? Why are we getting up at 11 at night after he
talk
falls
about
asleep
this.
to clean?
Yep.
Ew. Grow up. Let some fucking dishes be in the sink. There doesn't need to be vacuum marks in the carpet. Grow up. If you have some self-esteem and you don't want to be the maid of the house, don't act like the maid of the house. Stop acting like a maid, bro, if you don't want to be a maid. Stand up. You can deal with the house not being to the standard you want.
I love
Let
talking about this
him have to live in some filth. The reason why he doesn't think there's a problem is because there's never a problem. Do you really think, what would he rather do? Would he rather spend 25 minutes washing all the dishes or hear you complain for 30 seconds? You tell me. What would you rather deal with? Go back to when you were a teenager and you were living off your mom, because that's how these niggas act. Seriously, like, would you have rather hear your mom bitch for 1 minute, because that's how you guys act, or do 30 minutes of dishes? Bitch, you would rather hear your mom bitch for 1 minute. Like, let's be honest.
Every time.
You'd rather hear your mom bitch for a minute. Like, it's
time.
not like, stop cleaning up after them. Stop doing their laundry. Stop doing all these things. Like, oh my God, you're telling me to live in filth? Yes, I am. Let him have natural consequences. That's how people learn.
Yep.
That's how
what happens
people
when
learn.
That's how she keeps him. That's what she thinks.
But at the same time, you don't want him.
Right.
So be honest with yourself. You don't want him.
Right.
Like you basically acting. You're saying you want a divorce, and you're so like unsure of who you are, which makes sense because you are 26, and who knows what age you were when you got married. So your growth is probably very stunted from getting married so young. But
Yeah.
it says a lot about where you are in your personal development that a couple friends and family members told you were tripping and you're questioning your sanity. And that says a lot about who you are as a person and like how much work you have to do in trusting yourself.
Not very grounded.
It's not very grounded, and not even in a bad way, just in a way of like, it's a sign that you probably have had to actually ignore a lot of things to be in this relationship, and you're probably in this relationship for not the best reasons.
Yeah.
Not even in a using way, just in a like, we've been together for 5 years, we're married, I thought it was going to be great.
It's time to get out of your first big
Yeah.
relationship and move on to.
Yes, and
other
it sucks that your first big relationship ended in a marriage,
Oh my God, can relate.
but you still got to do your first big relationship breakup
do.
and like move through.
And
He
you're-
wasn't your first big relationship, he was your second.
He was.
He wasn't your first. Don't do that to yourself.
Thank you.
You made a choice.
It's true.
It
was a choice.
It was a choice.
It's like I'm
So,
going down this path.
yep.
Are you reading the second one?
Yeah, I am going to read the second one. But yeah, so, you know,
Best of luck to you, sister.
yeah, you're not tripping.
You're not.
But it doesn't matter if we say that. You have to believe that. That's all that matters.
You do have to believe that, and you're not the asshole.
Yeah. Second Reddit. Am the asshole for not involving myself with my in-laws' baby loss 3 years running.
Am I not?
Am I the asshole for not involving myself with my in-laws' babies lost 3 years running? We'll see if we get it when we read it.
Got it.
My sister-in-law had a stillbirth 3 years ago. We were so saddened and offered support. She has 3 living children before this. At Christmas, before the 1-year anniversary, she opened our Christmas card. A few months later, she then picked it back up, stated that she couldn't display it unless her baby's name was included, and proceeded to write their name in the card. I tried to put it to the back of my mind, but honestly felt she could have taken the card home, wrote their name to save making me the example in front of my entire family. We attended the first 2 memorials and found them very difficult / awkward. So she's having funerals years in a row for the stillbirth? Yeah. Okay. My sibling was stillborn. Oh, this writer. So my sibling was stillborn, and I grew up in a household that didn't talk about it. Whenever my siblings and I tried to ask questions about our stillborn sibling, our mother would shut us down. This is so interesting because the in-law that they're writing about is the exact opposite of their family. Like they're both the extremes. Like celebrating your stillborn child's death or anniversary every year is the complete opposite extreme of not acknowledging it happened. And both, I think, are detrimental to the people around you.
Isn't it interesting how that works out as having that in one family? It's always like that.
Well, because there's this theory that
your imago, is that the thing?
Well, yeah, I was actually going to say more of like, there's this theory that in a spiritual way, like everyone has these lessons to learn or things they need to figure out about themselves or their life. And that if you don't figure it out the first time, you'll just keep repeating the pattern until you do figure it out or don't. And just die instead. But so it's just interesting because it's like, oh, this doesn't feel like that. This feels coincidental because obviously, nobody picked to have a baby with someone and the baby be stillborn, right? So it's just all a coincidence. So it's just like a sad, triggering coincidence that that would happen. During family gatherings, she makes excessive comments on social media posts that nothing feels right without her angel baby being there. My other sister-in-law and I find it upsetting that she makes these comments, as we cannot help that our children survived and one of hers didn't. She has 3 other healthy children to care for. That changes the picture. Yeah, not saying I don't have empathy, but having a stillborn baby or a young baby who died.
Terrible.
And having no children, I'm sorry, is so different than it being your 4th child.
And you already have children.
Is that terrible?
No, it's not. And it's also like you have children that are yeah.
And also, you can't stop living when you have all these other children. Even people who have babies that came out alive who die, you can't stop living when you have other kids. You just can't.
Tend to. And that's literally what they say is normally like what keeps them going or kind of the thing that, I don't know.
During a family gathering, she made a comment that her living children recently asked her who her favorite was and that she had responded that her angel baby was her favorite. The room was silent. As a child who was repeatedly told with much venom that I wouldn't have been born had my siblings survived, that broke me.
Yeah.
So anniversary 3 rolled around recently. Again, we were asked to attend a memorial, although this time we called it a birthday, which struck me as odd. But we felt it was too much for us to go through again, attending the first 2. We decided not to go, but I chose to light a candle and wore my angel wings brooch for a week before and after the passing date as a tribute. Now, we received a message from mother-in-law to state my sister-in-law is very upset with all of us as we didn't, quote, make the effort, and we should apologize.
Says the mother-in-law.
Yeah, so the girl's mom. Whilst I appreciate she's still grieving, she's able to do that in her own way, and if others choose to grieve differently, then that's okay too. I don't believe you can dictate to others how to grieve, nor can you have a monopoly on grief. Everyone is different, and I respect that she wants to do a grand gesture each year, but she needs to accept that not everyone wants to or feels comfortable being a part of it.
And it literally sounds like it's triggering for this person.
I feel like it's not my direct loss to carry on grieving so openly. Yes, I feel sad as it's a loss of life, but at what point do we stop mentioning it all the time? Thanks for the varied replies. I really appreciate every one of them. Just for clarification, 1, yes, I have children myself. 2, I agree that my family deals with grief in not a healthy way. 3, I don't expect her to, quote, forget the loss, as some have stated, but hoped for the intensity of the grief to ease at some point as it feels we walk on eggshells all the time. 4, she has had some online counseling. 5, she's aware of my sibling situation, and I've explained why I'm uncomfortable. I'm curious who the only parent in the room, what your response is, Gabe.
Honestly, like, I wouldn't go to that shit. I wouldn't, like, it's fucking at a certain point, everyone has to move on, as awful as that is to say, right? Like, the parents don't. They don't get to. But everyone else does have to. Like, the whole, you know what I mean? And I don't, I hope I'm never in that person's shoes and all that. So I do have sympathy for it, but it's also like, you're being really unreasonable. Like,
yeah.
you just can't expect everyone to grieve with you in the same way.
In a perfect world, I feel like we would be able to live in a way that like that mom like could be supported and always like be able like maybe like that really does rock you. I don't know, but and like having other kids throws a wrench into that. But like you can't just like check out of life. I think and like just keep on like reliving that and like
it's like. I would think it would
wonder-
almost be traumatizing for those kids,
Well,
you know,
yeah.
to keep doing it year after year, to see your mom going through that ritual, the inferiority ritual.
I just imagine meeting those 3 kids when they're all teenagers or young adults and they're just all laughing together and it's an open, known joke between all of them that Angel Baby is the best kid she ever had.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. 100%.
And like they're all accepted of that and they all joke about it, but in their hearts it hurts.
Or they hate each other, or they all hate each other and don't talk just because there's so much trauma that was visited upon their family.
well, hopefully they band together and are like, oh, our mom's the kooky one, and she's like this broke her for whatever reason.
That just seems like something that just profoundly affect those kids though. Like it's for me, it feels like such an outside chance that they end up, you know, like if they're 5 years old, 5, 6,
I feel like
and
the
8
dad
when that
has-
happens.
I feel like the dad has to be hella checked out with this too.
Yeah. I have a sibling theory. I always say this to Rachel, but I don't really say it a lot on the podcast. I don't know if I've said it or not, but that siblings who don't get along with each other or don't like each other are competing for limited resources. So I feel
yes. Yes.
I feel like humans at our core,
Such as like affection.
I just feel like humans at our core, we are always trying to get our basic needs met, right? That is like our animal instinct. And I feel like you have an intuitive sense as a kid if there's not, your parent can't meet your needs. I think you know it, even if you don't have the language or the thoughts to back it up. I think you know it in your body. And I think that when that happens, when you have siblings, you intuitively know there's limited resources, whether that's affection, love, money, time, support, and you start competing with your sibling to get that thing. And I think that it's easier to rationalize in your head as a child that your sibling stole that from you than that your parent wasn't equipped to give it to you. Because remember, as kids, we have to believe that our parents are safe and can help us. We have to believe that our parents can take care of us because it's too scary to believe not. Right? It's a lot easier to say, my bitch ass sister is the reason that my mom sucks rather than my mom sucks. Or the reason that this isn't good. Or my sister manipulates my mom. Or my sister, you know, those kinds of things are a lot easier. So I think
That's so painful to think of that stuff. That's
So
terrible.
So I think what ends up happening is they compete. They compete a lot for resources. And the saddest part is that no matter who wins, there's not enough to give even one kid.
Ever.
Do you think it's
Nobody's ever full.
There's never enough. It's not, splitting it up isn't the problem. If they had enough love in their heart, they had enough love in their heart. If
They
had this-
started on empty anyway.
they started on empty. There was never enough. And that's the saddest part of all of it is you guys, the siblings hate each other because they blame the other sibling. Like,
For
well, if they
taking
didn't have
away.
to split it up, it would have been enough. But that's not true. There was never enough. What were you going to say, Gabe?
Oh man, you're kind of blowing me away in a few ways. But so yeah, I guess the first thing what I was going to say is, is there a difference between, you know, like I get the limited resource. I think that's great. What I'm wondering is the whole, because I've always thought of it in my life, because that's like my brother. There's a competitive thing like that doesn't make sense, and unfortunately, it's a bit of a one-way street. I don't feel that way, but it's kind of profound,
Well,
and I know we were pitted against each other.
Well, I also just want to interject and say that you and him are probably on different paths. You don't talk to me about your brother, but just from meeting you, if he's competing with you, that means he thinks that there's a resource to get. And I think you've kind of given up.
Right.
And felt like there isn't a resource to get. There's nothing to fight for from your mom.
See, yeah.
You know what I mean? There's nothing to fight for
No,
your
I
mom.
do. And that's what I'm saying. Is that the same thing as that it's like just getting the attention, like shining the light? I guess that is just exactly
That is the
same
resource.
thing.
the
Yeah, that is
attention.
the same thing.
It's, the resource is the attention.
So it can be attention, not necessarily just love.
But yeah, any resource Any
Okay.
attention is a resource. That's why I said time. Like even like, you know, I think of the one sibling who plays sports and all the other siblings are resentful because dad only goes to the sporting events,
Yeah.
not the orchestra concert. But we all know in our hearts dad never wanted to go to the orchestra concert and that's why he didn't go.
Yeah.
Right.
But they blame the sibling who plays sports.
Yep.
Oh, you're just so caught up in Jackie. But you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
we know
Oh,
that you're not
it's
caught
a
up in
huge-
Jackie.
It's a huge thing for me because I don't want my kid, you know, like I really want them to be bonded and all that. And I'll say
Yeah.
this, so I've been good at not pitting them.
Yeah.
And I keep getting amazed when one is happy for the other at like when they get attention and it's like it's that unrealistic to me that it's like
Because
I
they feel like there's enough to go around that they can be happy for them. They don't have to
it's
compete.
awesome. Right. And like I'm glad to
painful
hear
for
it,
them.
but yeah.
Yeah.
And it's painful for them to have to turn around and be like, "Oh shit, it wasn't my siblings. It was my parents."
Nobody does that though. Most people just spend their whole life thinking it's their sibling. And then if they do realize their parent sucks, unfortunately, instead of going, my parents ruined my relationship with my sibling, they go, my sibling and my parent sucks. What the fuck? This is the worst thing ever. Like they don't do the like my parent fucked over my sibling too. They're
We're
like
all
they
in the same
all
boat.
suck. They all
Right.
suck. They're all trash, you know? And so like because attention is a resource, I think what can happen if you have a parent who maybe doesn't have a lot to give but attention. You know, they're not very kind. They're not very consistent. They're not loving, right? All they have to give you is attention or money. Well, let's say it's just attention. Let's say they don't even have money. All they have to give you is attention. Then even into adulthood, siblings will throw the other sibling under the bus to get attention. Oh, I'm finally getting the love from my mom. Well, I'm going to tell her why all my other siblings suck. And I'm going to make sure I monopolize as much of this attention because I'm finally getting it and I need it so bad. And like it can carry on forever and ever.
Ever and ever.
It can carry on forever and ever. And I think a parent who is unhealthy's worst nightmare is all of their kids aligning and being like, yeah, you suck. Because a parent who is not that great can also, they benefit off of you fighting for their love and attention
All the time.
because
Right.
you are treating them in a way that honestly they didn't earn because you want to win,
Yep.
right? So you're doing things that they didn't earn by being kind, loving, and supportive because you want to beat your sister. And so they're benefiting off of it too. And I've seen so many adult sibling dynamics where one kid is totally bought into the parents and the other kid is like the black sheep. And if the kid who is bought into the parents starts hanging out with the black sheep, the parents freak out. And they're literally like, why are you hanging out with black sheep? Don't hang out with black sheep. Oh, you're different now because of black sheep. Like they're actively trying to disrupt the siblings becoming bonded. I don't even think they're doing it on purpose. I think they've also bought into the lie that they've picked certain kids because those kids are better or worse, right? They believe it too.
Everybody's in their roles.
Everyone's in their role. So they're like, oh my God, black sheep's ruining you.
Yep.
Black sheep's making you different. Black sheep's the worst thing that's ever happened to you.
Try and rub to fucking
It's
widen
just
it.
like such an issue forever and ever and ever when you're searching for parent approval and when you're letting parents influence you.
Yep.
Oh man, yeah, that like ran rampant in my house. Like all this stuff
Yeah.
you're saying, that's very much how that
Can
stuff
relate.
was.
Yeah. And so, and I know it's not true. I mean, my brother and I are so far apart that we had to compete less for resources, but we still have our own whatever with it's so funny. This is how I know my mom is like a safe person, is that both of me and my brother's animosity is towards my mom, not each other.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you favor so-and-so in this way, or oh, you do this thing in this way and we don't like it. But it hasn't impacted our relationship at all because we both independently feel very loved by her.
I think my brother and I are just now like turning a corner where we're getting to a place where like we feel more aligned on stuff and like we rely on each other. He and I will call each other about things, which we always did intermittently, but now it feels like
Consistent.
now it feels like more consistent. And he's like able to vocalize, well, like Rachel and I are the way we are because of like our parents, or like we have this relationship, like, and so that stuff is different. But I think us being closer in age definitely put us at more like at odds with like resources in terms of like,
Fighting for shit.
yes.
Fighting
You
for
guys
love
have
and
similar
affection.
flaws.
I don't think Adam and I have similar flaws, but we might get triggered by, like, we get tripped up by the same things a little bit. Like, who gets let off the hook more is kind of like a thing for both of us. Like, who gets,
I can think of something very similar between the two of you.
say it. I'm sure there are things, yeah.
You both struggle with execution.
Yes.
And you both feel
Oh,
really bad
yes.
when you can't execute.
Yes, and we shame spiral, and it gets
Yeah,
worse.
yeah. And you guys actually
sure.
both feel conflicted about, I think, what to do with your lives. Like, I think you guys both have passions, but I think you guys feel conflicted about what's going to make you happy moving forward.
That, and I think and executing, like that, you said that, but it's kind of like, I could have like a vision of like, yeah, like this sounds like a good life, but like there's no, like, I don't feel like there's like building blocks to get there. And I don't know if he feels that way, but I would imagine it feel like he might have similar frustrations about like, I know what I can do. It just is like,
Feels not achievable.
yeah.
Because I feel like you guys were both raised where, like, even when you accomplish things, there was always kind of a little voice in the background being like, but you accomplished this because I let you.
Yes.
I allowed you. I forced you. I made you. You couldn't have did this without me. You both had that voice.
And both of our parents are a little like that in different ways, kind of just like,
Yeah.
you know, you did this, but it's because I XYZ or whatever it is. And I don't know if either of them would like see that.
And I also,
but-
I kind of feel like it's what we were talking about off camera, kind of this notion of parents are really, like, you and Adam grew up financially stable. And I feel like sometimes parents are like, oh my God, my kid's going to be soft. I'm really scared. So I'm going to tell them all the time how easy their life is and how they should be doing better or how grateful they should be. And what it ends up doing, instead of making you stronger, it makes you feel weak. Like, well, why do I feel like life is hard even though you're telling me my life is great? Something's wrong with me. I must be stupid. I must be behind. What's wrong with me that everyone in my life is telling me life's easy, specifically your dad, because he had a harder life, is telling me life's cake for me. But
And I
it's
can't hack
actually
it.
so hard. So I
can't
guess
do
I'm
it.
stupid.
Yep.
Although your dad doesn't say that as an adult, but I'm sure he said it as a kid. What I hear him say as an adult is,
Get your ass up.
no, he says, you never were motivated to work hard because you didn't have to. And that's something you're going to have to figure out later in life than other people. But you're going to have to do it. Which
does
to
say-
me, he says that repeatedly.
And there's truth to that, but I also then when I really think about it is like when I've been in like I did work. Like I did work when I like, you know, I would rather work than go to school, or I would rather like, so there's things like that and maybe that's just like money's a good motivator, and when I'm not making money I'm like, I don't know, but
Yeah.
it to me it lets me know like he's also but there is truth to that, is that I'm learning it later than it is true that I'm learning it later than other people now is what it feels like.
I feel like, though, you're taking it as like you learned how to care later or you learned how to do stuff later. And what I'm hearing him say is that you didn't have to do some of the things that other people had to learn to do when they were younger because
Yes.
other people were doing it for you. And so you're in a disadvantage.
Like executive functioning stuff.
yeah, executive functioning
Yes.
stuff, like
Yes.
learning how to do tasks and those kinds
Yes.
of things.
Just like like the starting stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, totally.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
We
I
both
don't know.
struggle with that
I
for
think it's
sure.
I think it's interesting because I met your dad at a more mature point in his life, so I can see his maturity very clearly.
Mm-hmm.
But you've known him your whole life, and when he was a lot less mature, and so you see everything through kind of a mixed lens, which is fair and probably more accurate. I probably give him the benefit of the doubt, honestly, where he doesn't deserve it.
It's true, but he also like is probably more of an adult than I give him credit for, and I also have a lens of him that is like also like probably still like through my mom's lens a lot of.
I was gonna
and
say,
I
did
work-
she influence that? Do you think?
She was really kind about him growing up. We really like didn't.
But then when you grew up, she was like, I carried the entire load the
Yes.
entire time.
yes,
So she
and-
flipped.
and kind of like really. and,
she
like,
flipped because I've heard the spiel. I've literally heard it, and I
Yes.
don't know your mom like
yes.
that.
No, like yeah, like and so definitely when we grew up and like after he went to prison, she was definitely like more honest and like more like open about like what was like.
Well, she didn't even realize that she
experience
exposed
and
herself
stuff.
as a liar and to be not trusted by doing that. Because you told me he was great, so why are you telling me differently now?
Right.
That's so confusing.
It's confusing and it's I get
And
it.
why do you want your kid to think?
I get it in
And
theory because
like
so
that.
many parents do it. They're like they protect and then later on they flip, but there's an impact about that. Like it's like, okay, is he good? Do I trust him or do I not trust him? Do I?
We need
Oh,
her
that's
to
fucked up
that's
when you
what
say
I'm
that.
Okay.
Wait, what'd you
It
say?
said we need her to unsubscribe. I hate these takes. Okay.
It's a more fair take.
Sure.
That's for sure.
Sure. You know, I think something about him that I see very clearly about your dad is that like he seems like he's really good at connecting with adults. Like he has a lot of emotional intelligence around adults. And so like
Yeah.
I also like I can imagine that he struggled a lot when you weren't an adult and treated you like an adult. And so that is a totally different thing. I'm meeting him as an adult, so it's appropriate and fun for me. But for you, there's probably all these mixed feelings around it because he was treating like an adult far before you were one, right? But I'm an adult when I met him, so it's just fun.
What's an example of him treating you like an adult too early? Like, to what degree?
Like, I'm cheating on these bitches. I'm gonna hide the car. I'm gonna hide the phone in your car.
Yeah, like lots of stuff.
How young were you when this started, I guess? Like his...
Early high school.
Forever.
Okay.
Oh, forever.
I mean, yeah, but I just imagine, like, but also he's always been good at connecting with kids. Like, that's what he does. He struggles with adults.
No, he doesn't struggle with us.
He doesn't struggle one-on-one. He's good at entertain. I'm not saying he can't connect.
He has high EQ. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
How does he struggle with adults?
I can relate to a part of his personality, like what you're saying. Like there's something...
so intelligent.
How does he struggle with adults? I'm missing it.
Because of having deadlines, showing the responsible side of himself.
He's good.
He doesn't have to do that when he's connecting with... I'm talking about, like, from a friendship space.
He can't. He's in a friends.
My choice. I don't know a lot of... You think he can't make friends?
What's his quality that makes it hard?
I don't think he can sustain a relationship with, I think maybe with men specifically, but he definitely, I don't know if, like...
Your dad and I talk once a week.
How does it blow up with his male
Yeah,
relationships?
I'm like, we talk once a week. I don't...
but it's also new that, like, he's online and doing, like, he's sustaining these things, yes, but, like, he, like...
What is he doing now that makes you think he couldn't have a
like,
relationship with an adult man?
I think he could if he saw value in it. I don't think he sees a value in it.
But that has nothing to do with EQ or ability to have relationships.
I don't know. I think it kind of does. If you can only connect with, like...
With people in the short term?
Short term or just women. I don't know. I think there's a part of that to me is, like, there's something there. And it doesn't mean he's not, like, he can't, like, get emotions or... Like, it just... There's another slant to it for me. Because I've seen, like, who he purposely connects with and who he doesn't connect with. And who he puts an effort into and who he doesn't. So I don't know. And maybe that is, to me...
But I also feel like...
And maybe that is a high EQ.
No, but I feel like we're talking about different things anyways. Because what I was saying was, too, around the lines of, like... if him choosing not to engage doesn't make him less emotionally intelligent. I don't agree with that.
That's true.
I feel like he has the skill to connect with adults when he wants to, and I feel like he can connect superficially with children, but he does not have good boundaries. And I feel like when you became a, quote, adult in his mind was probably far before you were an adult.
Yes, and yet he still struggled with me, like, being a woman and, like, being an adult. Like, he wants to be an adult with me, but doesn't want me to be an adult back, is what it often felt like. I think now it's different, and now, like, we're meeting each other at a more even place, and it feels more even-keeled. And he's also in a place where I can rely on him more, actually. And so
I wasn't thinking about relying.
I was, because it's because he hasn't been a parent figure to me, like, in that way. Like, I've never, only recently am I like, hey, like, can I get, like, money? Can you do this for me? Like, it was never, he never did that.
What's another example of him not having boundaries, Jave, as you said, or whatever?
Like when she was younger?
Yeah, I guess. So what I'm trying to understand is, like, okay, I have a stripper podcast, right? Is that ever something, like, is that having an effect on them? Even if I handle it?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
I mean, I didn't think so, but.
I was a daddy's girl
that's
growing up.
Kind of like, imagine if you had a wife, or, like, imagine if you left your current wife, you're single now, and you had a wife that you had your daughter bond with. Let's say she saw her as her stepmom for real. I mean, and you guys were together for, like, 3-4 years, right? Yeah, because she asked about her dad.
Yeah.
And you were like, I'm cheating on her. Can you hold that?
Oh, okay.
Like, that's adult too soon.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Type shit, yeah.
And, like, thinking that, well, because it's your mom, it's fine. It's not your mom, it's fine. Because it's not your mom, you can handle it. But that's adult. Like, as a kid, that's just too big of a secret to keep with an adult you see all the time.
Okay.
Like, stuff
That's
like...
interesting.
Like,
yeah.
stuff like that.
I just know that I'm more, like, relaxed as far as, like, you know, certain...
I feel like you're not even on the same planet.
No, it's not. It's like, now that I'm hearing this, it's like, no, it's not. But I can be whatever. Like, I'll swear around my kids and just...
Yeah, I'm not
and
talking
basically
about that.
people go like, you swear around your kids? They're like, they know that they're not adult, they're not adult words. They can't use them.
Yeah, totally.
I think I do have a different view because he didn't, it's true. Like, there was no...
Yeah, you kind of proved my point the whole time you were talking, so I was just listening, nodding, because it was like, my whole point was that I think I see him differently because I met him at this point in his life right now as an adult, as as an adult, not as his child, and so we'll never see it the same.
Yes, it's the same. It's actually a similar frustration that I have with his current wife, and where she and I have butted heads. It's where she's like, "Well, he's this and he's that," and I'm like,
But he's not those things in his totality. He shows up as that right now in this moment, but his history says otherwise.
right, and you're getting like his quote unquote like best years, his calmest years.
Yeah. Which that's why I'm saying I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying we were even just talking about connecting and bonding and knowing your kid and stuff. And it's just like there's different skill sets, I think, as a parent. And so like he didn't have a lot of the skill sets that come with having younger children.
Yes.
But he has the skill set of like he knows how to connect with you adult to adult.
Yes.
Which a lot of parents don't.
Yeah.
They don't ever move out of seeing you as a child. They always see you as a child and they have an ego about you being an adult and your own full person.
Which is often where
it bothers them.
Bump heads is like
it bothers them. Like, what do you mean you have opinions outside of me that offend me and you don't care about how I feel about it? They lose their mind. Or what do you mean you're making choices I don't agree with? How embarrassing for me. Like, he doesn't have any of that. He's like, life's about to whoop your ass and I'm here.
Yeah.
Like,
which is sometimes nice, which is something I appreciate about him. Like, it's like,
and it's only nice as an adult. As a kid, you want guidance, right?
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not even disagreeing.
Right.
I'm agreeing. Like, I've had he's a random, he's your dad. He's just like a random person to me that has connection because he has connection to you.
That's my boy, man. I love him so much.
So it's just different. You know what I mean? I get to just have the fun things. I don't have to care about the other shit. Same with you and my mom. Like, when I talk to you about my mom, you think my mom's great.
It's true.
Patrice thinks my mom's great. Yeah, everyone thinks my mom's great, right?
Yeah.
No one's going to share any of the feelings I have because adult-to-adult connection, she's amazing.
She's a little scary, but she's nice.
Yeah, adult-to-adult connection, she's amazing, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
any of the feelings I have are old.
Right.
They have nothing to do with now.
What would you say that your mom still has some bitterness towards your dad, Rachel?
Yeah. I'm sure.
So, like, why is that so common?
Not in that, but
like,
not,
you know what I
not
mean?
in the,
like,
but not in the way that you're.
Can I be honest?
But not in the way that
Sure.
you're.
Okay, the person who feels like they had to be the hard ass because the other parent wasn't always resents that parent.
Yeah.
yeah.
Always. And that was him. He wasn't a hard ass.
Right.
I feel like, and she didn't have to be as hard as she was. She's kind of a trip. She overcompensated for sure.
Yes.
But I just think that the parent who is the hard ass always resents the parent who wasn't and thinks that their relationship with their kids would have been better if that other parent was just a little stricter.
Yeah. Well, I had to be the heavy, so of course you come down heavy on me.
It's how your wife's going to feel about you.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. And what
any resentment your kids have towards her is going to be because she had to overcompensate for how loose you were. Mm-hmm. That's how the shit goes, you know?
Yeah.
And my parents can like be around each other and they can whatever, but there's
They
always
both
that little, but there's always like a little, there's always.
Can
like
I say something?
But they both have like a little edge about like as soon as they're not around, but they're both like, but I don't know if it was really like they have like a lot of fun. But like, and then afterwards, it's like anxiety for the both of them.
They're both proud of what they created with their children for different reasons, even if it's about themselves. They're both like, we did that thing, and these are the things we did and had, and they like to show up for you guys together and like prove they can do it and that they're not weird.
Yes.
Like, you know, that's like that divorced parent thing. Like, we've been divorced for so long. We're normal.
Yes.
Shit's not weird. It's going to be how you and your ex-wife are at weddings and stuff. Like, overcompensating about the fact that you can both be there and not make it shitty for your kid.
Invite your mom over.
Because it's important to you.
My dad
as
the
parent.
Like, invite your mom over. Invite your mom over.
Yeah.
And in all actuality, like, none of that would actually be like, it's more fun to do intermittent stuff. Like, they don't need to have a fun
You love having them both together. Stop lying right now.
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. It's like, if they were to like start having like standing fucking hangouts,
that'd be weird.
Like that, I'm like, bro, no.
You don't. They don't need to do that.
No.
They just need to prove that they can show up at life events,
which they can do.
Like the last time they hung out together was they helped prepare like. You had people over for your 30th birthday. Everybody but your best friend. It's fine.
Whatever. It's fucking horrible. Anyway.
And they helped you prepare like that whole day. Like, and that's very sweet. Like, we both want to see you on your 30th birthday. We love you. We want to contribute. Like,
both my parents did shit. None of my other friends did anything.
Yeah,
crazy.
They're trash.
Do you think that, like, I guess what I'm wondering is, is this a strength or a dysfunction of mine that I can kind of quickly, like, sort of see the whole, like, like, I don't understand anyone who hangs on to anger that long. Like, I just don't understand.
It's like, yes, but like.
But it's still affecting them, I'm saying. Whereas, like, I feel like I can very quickly go, you know what?
But yours
fucked
is
up
still
shit
affecting
happened.
you too.
Right.
What's that?
Yours is still
Your
impacting
marriage
you too.
ending, the way it ended and how everything plays out. I think it's yes, I think holding out to anger is a bad thing. And I think it's a skill to let it go. But I think that the mental gymnastics you have to do to get through the relationship you have with your children's other parent never goes away. Like, it's ever changing. So, like, the fact that sometimes they're in bitterness and sometimes they're happy and sometimes they're this, like, I kind of get it because you have to negotiate it because it's always going to be there. It feels
Yeah.
less childish than other relationships. I think the thing that's mature is being able to own your feelings and not put it on your co-parent who's not married to you anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, let that shit go. Stop punishing them. Stop acting out. Stop asking them to do things to make you feel better. Like, that's where the maturity comes from. But you're always going to have feelings about the person you co-parent with.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Always.
and that's true, I guess.
Yeah.
I just, yeah.
It would be easier if she had less feelings about you and towards you.
Like, imagine when your son's 25 and, maybe he goes through his first breakup and his mom is mean about it. Like, you're going to have feelings about it even though he's an adult, right?
Yes, of course.
Right?
No,
Like,
for-
that's
for
just
sure.
the up and down forever. Is like, it's the only other person who's that bought into your kids and your kids are that bought into them. You're going to have a big reaction to them no matter what.
There's so many guys I know, like outside of myself, where they have this dynamic where it's like, it's like she's driving around angry or whatever about it, right? Like living her life, whereas you feel like, oh, I'm reset and normal, and then you just get, I don't know.
How far? You guys are only a couple years out from your divorce, though, right?
We're over 3 now.
It's not that long.
It's not that long.
Okay.
Not like you should.
Long enough to let.
Well,
let
but
go
she
of
didn't love me for the
bitterness.
last 3 years, as she told me. So does that make it 6?
No,
No.
it doesn't. Because she didn't have to deal with all the mental gymnastics of not being in full control of her children's lives at all times.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what, honestly, can I be honest? Ex-wives are seething over that. They have to leave their kids with you unfiltered.
That was a lot of my mom.
And not have
yeah.
control
Oh,
over
no,
those
I
children.
agree.
No, that was a lot of my mom's
That's what they're
stuff.
driving around mad about. Like, all those men, their ex-wives are pissy that they get to call equal shots with their kids now because they're
Yes.
not together. That's what they're raging about.
No, yes.
And then they bring it back to, well, if you didn't ruin the marriage, I wouldn't have to feel like this. Okay, but the marriage is ruined. It's over.
My
so.
mom's thing was really like you're parenting them so differently over there, and then it's like, and both of them.
And
felt
that's
like they had to
legit.
reset
Like,
us.
that's-
My dad felt like he had to reset us at his house, and my mom felt like she had to like reset us at like her house, and like they both were like, "You both come over wonky."
Yeah.
God, yeah.
Yeah.
I've resisted saying that, but I've said it.
Yeah.
You can't say that.
No, I'm just saying to the
co-parent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
co-parent.
Yeah, and both are true, right? Like, the other person feels the same way because the stricter house is always resentful because the kids come back like, what the fuck?
Disoriented.
Like, I don't have to deal with all these arbitrary rules.
What do you
At
mean
this
no
other-
TV during the week?
Yeah. Yeah, your mom was strict. She didn't let them watch TV during the week.
During the week?
Only on the weekend.
Wow.
Only if there was something like special, like if there was like a.
Whoa.
Yeah. My dad though was like I was staying up till like 4 or 5 in the morning watching TV.
And you're not a voracious reader, though.
No, I was. I was a great reader.
I'm just joking.
Fuck you. I was reading through like all like the Harry Potters in like a day and shit, but that's because I was just like
Yeah.
needed to zone out.
Yeah. So yeah. Speaking of moms, let's do this
Yeah,
last
this is a great one. I mean, it looks like a great one.
And I
Let's
think
see.
it will be.
If I can pull it up. Jesus
Whoops.
Christ. Jesus Christ.
She went away. What happened there? There we go. I was going to say, did you do that?
I did not.
Okay.
I wish.
That was crazy.
I can read it if you don't have it up.
No, I do. Mom's ashes mixed with someone else. Just got a call from funeral home and they said that my mother's ashes were accidentally mixed with someone else's and that they cannot tell them apart. He said this happens every once in a while and that both families agree to split 50-50. I want to know how true that is, that it happens every once in a while. And should I seek legal counsel?
Jesus.
I'm distraught and angry. I now have to tell my siblings and my grandmother what happened. I even debate telling them at all.
Don't tell them. Specifically not your grandmother. Her
mother
daughter's ashes were mixed in with someone else. Don't tell her.
Yeah,
My
what's the
mother
fucking
passed from a
upside of
hard
telling
fight
her?
with pancreatic cancer, and her death was not taken lightly. I would imagine not. I just want some opinions on how I should go about this. Update 3/2/25. So like 3 days ago. The director of operations called today and said he was still trying to get a hold of the other family. He is still investigating exactly what happened. Somebody was being lazy. But he said due to misplaced paperwork, my mom's ashes were commingled with someone else's. We have a service on Tuesday, and I'm not sure what I'm going to tell my family, if anything. I've always been good at keeping secrets and bluffing my way out of things. I think I will have to carry this to my grave. I will come back here Monday and update y'all when I know more. Also, is this the best way to update this? Blah, blah, blah.
Is this the best way to update this post, or should I make a new post to do it in the comments? No, you should update that current post. You boomer.
So you say your mother has been intermingled
They should
with
not
someone.
tell. Why would you ever tell?
I mean, I'm sure they felt ethically obligated to tell, but I kind of also didn't want to know. So, first comment, Tweaks Turbos, great name. Great name. Tweaks Turbos is a great name. On Monday, call your state board and ask them how many times has blank my funeral home gotten ashes mixed up. They said it happens from time to time. It should never happen. Hey, that's a smart Karen. That was a great calling up and being like, ring, ring, ring. Hi, so and so did blah blah blah, and they tell me it happens all the time. Is that true? And playing dumb so that other person just get outraged and help you on your behalf. Very clever
That
tweets.
absolutely does not happen all the time.
What? No, never. I'm a crematory operator.
That's specific.
This should never happen. This is a lawsuit, in my opinion. It's wrong to say, hey, just split them 50-50. I shouldn't agree to anything right away without talking to someone.
Get your money back. What? That's not what y'all paid for.
I lost it completely. At least where I work, family directors in charge of the case will tell the family if anything happens, like if you drop a body or cremate something the family wanted returned or other things of that nature. The funeral director most likely told them out of moral / or requirement to. With things like this, the crematory operation's at risk of termination or disciplinary action, not the director. Moral of the story, it's most places this won't risk the director's employment at all, so they can decide to tell or not.
Jesus.
And what exactly are they going to do to separate them? Right. What? They're not going to separate them. They're going to mix them together. Blah, 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 and then you're going to just throw them. So my first thought, honestly, that comes up with this is that...
That's horrible.
Is there any meaning to ashes?
I think my first answer is yes.
Okay. I don't disagree. But I also think, like...
It's the sentimentality, right?
Yeah.
And like, yeah.
It's the intention. No, I don't disagree. But I'm just curious because, like, I remember going to my dad's gravesite like a couple years after he died and just being like, yeah, his body's in there, but
meaningless.
Like his body's in there, but he's not there. Like this is for religious people. Like this, like his body's there.
Yes.
His body's there, but I remember just weeping, being like, this is so empty. Like there was nothing about this that was gratifying.
Yeah.
And because I feel like that, I would never put the burden on someone who feels differently by telling them that that's like, I would never be like, oh, the ashes are fucked up or mixed up or whatever. Yeah. And like,
it could be a big deal.
They could be a cat's ashes. And it is the fact of like spreading them and doing the ceremonial thing that you think was like honoring their spirit.
For you too, to go through that process. It's almost like where it's like the consolation prize of death of like, well, I guess I get to like honor them.
So if your brother Adam found out this happened to your mom and he never told you, and then you found out on your deathbed that you had spread the wrong ashes, would you be pissed?
Not on my deathbed.
Okay, you found out when you were 60 that you spread the wrong ashes. Would you be pissed?
I get to have it out with him, but I'll probably get over it.
What about you, Gabe?
I don't know. I don't understand this, basically, because I'm just like, they're fucking ashes. Like, it's not like it's valuable to me that it's actually my father's body.
But some people feel differently. They literally get them put in rings. They get them, like, they spread them in certain places. They put them on their mantle because it's this.
I feel stupid. I just don't.
It's the last, it's kind of like the last physical relic of their existence on this planet.
Do you take the ashes out at night and like rub it through your fingers and then drop me in? Like, why do they give a fuck whose it is? I'm just saying it's all a charade anyway.
But they believe is what I'm saying. That's
right.
Their belief.
So that's the only thing you did is take away the belief.
It's like a blankie.
Because they didn't have them in the first place.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So Gabe doesn't care. You don't care. You do care. You're gonna fight it out. But
my thing is, I'm gonna be mad that like now. Well, why are you telling me now?
I wouldn't want you to be incompetent.
And now I like. Well, my thing is like
they weren't incompetent. Somebody else was.
Right.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is like I'd be pissed if the funeral home told me that.
Oh,
because I'd be like, you fucking idiots! I paid you $30,000 goddamn dollars to burn my father's body.
I would have been like, yeah, you didn't get our fucking money back. We paid for all that shit. I'll be mad that like I'm wearing somebody else's. Like, I don't want to wear this shit. Like, why'd you have me walking around?
You're gonna wear your mom's ashes? I'm gone again.
No,
this is so weird.
That's what I'm saying. Is like if in theory, and really, I think about like my dad.
And her mom kills herself right now. So anyways, thank you for joining our live. It's literally so late at night.
Holy shit. We've been doing this forever.
We've been doing this forever and a day. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.